my 5 things that I say are attributes of somebody who's going to be a leader. You have to be independent. Independent. Do you know what that means? Independence is a requirement for being a leader. Hey, 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 good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on in. It's me, Christi. I should be able to see your comment show up. I've tried something different. I am on live stream, so I am on one place presenting I'm live one place presenting 3 ways. So I'm on LinkedIn, I am on my business page, I'm on my personal page. So come on in and let me know where you are watching me from. It's the Tuesday Tea with me, Christi. I've been doing the Tuesday Tea for over 3 years now. Like I started before the pandemic, picked up during the pandemic, and now I'm still doing it afterwards. And it started from reading a book about atomic habits. So creating habits. And it's so funny because the book that we're reading now, Humble, Hungry, and Hustle, and because I have this little screen thing on, you can't, there it is. Humble, Hungry, and Hustle. Gotta put it in the correct tilt so you can see it. Because I'm reading this book, literally every chapter is about having a habit of something. All right. Certain habits for people who want to stay humble, certain habits for people who want to be hungry, certain habits for people who want to hustle. So as you're coming in here, say hi. Don't be a stranger. I'm going to go to these. This is my first time using this. I'm going to go to these different locations and see how it looks for you. And I know there's certain like rules about what you need to do to comment. There's a thing. That's a thing too. Good morning, Falaka. I see you. Thank you for commenting. Hey, girlfriend. Welcome in here. Hey, Carolyn and Demetria. See you guys watching. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Dorian. Hey, Latanya. Good morning. Let me know where you are catching me live from because I am live in 3 places on one device. So this is dope. I love technology and figuring out. I am the queen of systems and processes. So when something is not working effectively, I try to find a way to improve upon it. And so this is one of the things I'm trying, and so far so good. So let me go over here. I think I need to delete a comment from here because we are not shopping jewelry right now. And let me know where you are watching me from. Facebook, my personal page, Facebook, my business page, or or LinkedIn. Okay. Good morning. Hey, Jennifer. Welcome in, ladies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The tea is going to be hot this morning. Okay. The tea is going to be hot. Have you gotten your book? Okay. So this is the current book we're reading, Humble, Hungry, and Hustle. And I'm going to put this up here so I can see what I look like. Um, And then the last book we read was Start With Why by Simon Sinek. The next book that we're reading is Your Next 5 Moves. And at the beginning, so this is going to end out the year. Your next 5 moves is going to end out this 2023 year. The next book that we're going to do is going to be Morning Miracle. All right. My eye is irritating me. Morning Miracle. Miracle Morning. Sorry, it's Miracle Morning. So if you want to go ahead and grab the next book, Miracle Morning, that's the next one we're going to talk about. If you want to be able to talk about these books a little bit more and get some tips or have discussions about this, you can join me in my Facebook group after the Tuesday Tea, and I'll be working on something next year to make that something that people who aren't even on Facebook can be a part of. So that's after the Tuesday Tea. You can drop after Tuesday Tea in the comments, and I'll get you added to the group or send you the link to the group. Today the tea is hot. All right, last week we did humble. Humble was the habit. Let me go back to my notes. The habit of self-discovery, knowing who you are, the habit of openness, sharing the real you with others. That was page 17. I talked about that. A habit of meekness. Remember, it's not about you. I talked about that a little bit. Habit of conviction, sticking to your principles. Habit of faith, prioritizing your day so God is first. And habit of assignment, living out your calling. Okay. Now, this week, the tea is going to be hot because I'm going to add my little tea to it. Now, I will say that this is about the habits of being innovation, which I'm going to go more in depth in, but all the habits he talked about in this is habit of ambition. Develop an appetite for what's next. All right. Having a habit for ambition and developing an appetite for what next. And I just read this right the book because this is the chapters of the book. Habit of curiosity, keep learning. Habit of passion, love what you do. That's so important. You can tell when people don't love what they do. Habit of innovation, stay current, creative, and engaged. Habit of inspiration, nurture a vision for a better tomorrow. And habit of bravery, take calculated risk. That's all the habits is. I'm not going to touch on all those habits. I will probably stick a little bit of time on habit of innovation, stay current, creative, and engaged. So important. Who Moved My Cheese is a great book for people who have a difficult time with habit of innovation, which is staying current and creative in this day and time. Now, I'm not going to go too deep in this at the moment, but I did want to let you know what I'm talking about today. In this day and time, you have to stay engaged and creative and current. It is necessary with how fast things change because we're in a digital world. AI has taken things to a whole nother, artificial intelligence has taken things to a whole nother level. And artificial intelligence has been around since like the 50s. Newsflash, people, they just gave it to us, the regular people, okay? So you're scared of something that has literally been ruling your lives in so many ways. So let's talk about, I wanted to share with you some things that were like eye opening for me that I've known I've been doing, but I now have a better way to explain it to you. So the three things that I require to for me to lead you, to coach you, to work with you, to be your accountability coach is you have to be willing, coachable, and guess what the third one is? Starts with the H. You might want to, I'll give you a second to drop it in the comments. You have to be willing, coachable, and the third piece starts with the H. Let me see if mine knows what the third one is. Willing, coachable, and it's not humble. That's what works for my business. All right. Willing, coachable, and what's the H word? Somebody know? You got to have habits. Thank you, Valerie. You got to have habits, but it's not habits. You have to be willing, coachable. There it is, Angela, and hungry. You have to be hungry. This is why I define it. These are the reason I stick by these three things because people will be willing to do the work. All right. People can be coachable. All right. So they do the work and then I can coach them on the next levels. But if you're not hungry, then when things get difficult, you don't know how to move without somebody holding your hand. You have to be hungry enough to move, to take action, to go and be innovative, to be inspired by yourself, self motivated when you are hungry. I compare it to people who are hungry, but you're waiting for somebody to bring you the food. As opposed to somebody who's hungry and you're not waiting for somebody, you're going to go figure out how to get the food. You can be willing to go to work every day. You can be coachable at the job, but if the job isn't fulfilling your need for food, then you got to be hungry enough to figure out a way to make enough money to feed your hunger, to feed your family. There are people right now who are willing to go get the job. I applied for the job. I'm working every day. They coachable because they coming in and they're doing the job every day that they've been given, but they still hungry. And if you have the hunger on the inside, if you have the hunger where somebody doesn't have to hold your hand and tell you, go find a way to feed yourself, that's required. That's when you come to a coaching meeting or you come to a one-on-one or you in a group training and the person will outline to be successful, you need to do 1, 2, and 3. And you get started and you knock out number 1. And you get started and you knock out number 2. And then number 3, you're like, it's not working out how I think it should. And then you stop and don't go to the next level or don't keep pushing for your goals because it's not handwritten out step by step what to do. Hungry people figure it out. The next 5 things I go by for leadership, all right? So those are just next level coaching, willing, coachable, and hungry. Leaders, these are my 5 things that I say are attributes of somebody who's going to be a leader. You have to be independent. Independent. Do you know what that means? Independence is requirement for being a leader. You have to be able to go do things by yourself. Now, all leaders get to a point where it's like, let me go get some mentorship. I'm in 2 mentorship programs right now, but that's mentorship for me so that I can lead others. I'm hungry enough that when I go to these coaching meetings, when I go to these mentorship programs and they say, do this, this, and this, and I go do it, it's not working out, I don't go run back to them and be upset because they coaching other people. They're mentoring other people that they can't answer my question right then. I go figure it out. Leaders go figure it out. Problem solving. There's a problem, you know how to solve it. These are attributes of leaders. You're consistent. I'm about to throw the word consistent in the trash. You know I'm about to replace it with? I'm going to replace consistent with discipline. I'm so tired of the word consistent because everybody's heard it and they're still not doing anything. So let's switch it up. Discipline is what's required to be consistent. You're not hitting consistency because there's no discipline. There's no do it without somebody following up with me. You want to work for yourself and not have a boss? You have to be disciplined. You want more product sales? You have to be disciplined. All right. Discipline is more because we can consistently do the wrong thing. We have to be disciplined enough to know when to stop doing the wrong thing. Or, as they say in this book, we have to be innovative and be willing to take risks. Hungry people are willing to take risks. And we're going to get into that. All right. So, independent, problem solver, consistent, and create action. I don't have any customers. Or I have the same customers. Well, do something about it. Create action. Create momentum in your business. And then lastly, have a big vision. These are 5 things required for leadership. Independent, problem solving, consistent, # discipline, create a vision, not having to follow somebody else. If somebody else's vision fumbles, do you have one for yourself in your life? And then big vision. So in this book on page 63, getting into specifically these things, I thought to myself, so I was going over those three lists of the willing, coachable, and hungry, and then being independent, problem solver, consistent, create action, and big vision. I was thinking about people always asking me, can you be my accountability partner? And how I remembered this list. This list, I did a training on this in June 11th of 2020. It's in my notes right here. June 11th in my book that my mom gave me, it says, ask and you will receive, seek and you will find, and the door will be open, Matthew 7:7. And this is where all my notes from my Tuesday tea, that's how I know I've been doing Tuesday tea for 3 years. My first Tuesday tea, it's more than 3 years. Oh my gosh. This is right here. Tuesday tea was July 17th, 2019. How to get uncomfortable. 2019. The notes are right here. I used to do all my Tuesday tea notes in this book. Let's see if I got to get the right angle because I got there you go. In this book. Now my Tuesday tea notes are digital, so I can pull them up wherever I'm at. There's a whole book of my Tuesday tea notes. Well, in my accountability group, they asked me, or not me, they just asked the whole group, like, what are the 5, or not, they didn't say 5. They said, what are the characteristics of someone who is an elite level in our business? And I said, well, these are the 5 things I believe. I believe to hit elite, you have to be independent, an independent thinker, not required to follow other people. And I can go in more depth in this because I have the notes right here. You also have to have a problem solver, big vision, consistent, create action. Those are the things. Then I thought to myself, how did I end up in this accountability group? Because I never asked anybody to be my accountability partner. Never. I have never in my 40 years reached out to somebody and say, can you be my accountability partner? I say it in that voice because that's how I feel when people ask me, can you be my accountability partner? But how did I get asked or get put into? Because one group, I was put in, no, actually, both I was put into with people who are at my level and above and below in different things. So things that I'm great at, they may not be, and things that they're great at, I may not be. But we're in this group because our greatness plus our weaknesses has got us in a position to be considered an elite level leader. And so I wrote down here today that I have shown myself to be worthy of the accountability group. I bring as much to the table as I take away. If you want to be in a higher level accountability group or a higher level accountability, then you have to be able to bring high level skills. You have to be able to bring problem solving to the group. You have to be able to bring and show that you have been disciplined in your business and your behaviors. You have to show that you can create action. When the group asks a question, can you add to the accountability partner? Or always are you in there always, I don't know. Well, what are you going to do? Well, how should you do this? Accountability of someone who is you perceive to be higher up or no more than you requires you to be able to make up for things for them and their weaknesses. I bring that to the table. That's why I'm always in somebody's accountability group. But I only join an accountability group if I think I can benefit as much from it as they're going to benefit from me being in there. I'll say that again. The only way I'm going into an accountability group is if I feel like I'm going to benefit as much from the group as they are going to benefit from me being in there. Why? Because there are plenty of areas in my life where I am giving, 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 giving. That when I choose to join a group, I also need to be given to. I need to be able to receive and not feel like my bucket is being emptied every time I walk into that accountability group or that mentorship program. Okay. So this goes to the habits of hungry. On page 63, he says, habit of ambition. Are you ambitious? Do you have an appetite for what's next, or are you just satisfied with what's now? On page 63, he defines a habit of ambition as developing an appetite for what's next. Then on page 66, he says, an appetite comes naturally, but it has to be fed correctly in order to yield health. Look at your own life and ask, how am I feeding my ambitious appetite? And is it producing health in my life? We can have the same routine, page 67. We can have the same routine, same schedule, meetings, staff, and goals. But until we change our perspective and our intentionality with what it is put in front of us, we won't see change and impact occur. So, here are some habits to feed your ambitious appetite. Now, if you're not ambitious about nothing, then guess what, sis? You're not hungry. And hungry is a requirement for the next level. So if you're not waking up every day hungry and excited, I remember when I was working as a teacher, I was a coach at this point in the elementary school. And I woke up hungry to get to work to knock out the projects at work so I could work on my business. I would literally, like everybody thought I was so efficient and Christi always gets things done. But see, I was sharing an office with one person. Actually, you look her up on Facebook, see what she's doing. I was sharing an office with her. And I knew what time she was going to be out of office inside classroom. So I would literally get all things done that the principal and assistant principal and staff, needed done so that I could work my business. I was hungry to work my business. Oh my goodness, this was like 2011. Yes, this is before I went to overseas. So like 2011, 2012, I was hungry to grow my business. So I figured out ways to still fulfill my job responsibilities. And I was innovative, which is going to get to that. The things that he lists as having a habit of innovation and being creative. I would go and approach my principal with ideas, with solutions to problems in the schoolhouse And I would say, so I'm going to put this together. And he would leave me alone for like 2 weeks to put this together. I didn't tell him it was only going to take me 3 days to get it done. So that means his expectation was 2 weeks. It took me 3 days. I had 7 days to wake up hungry, go to my job that I didn't love, but I could do so that I could get done with these projects and work on my business. Hungry and ambitious. So you have to first be hungry. Once you're hungry, they need to sketch out tomorrow. Stephen Covey says, in the 7 habits of highly effective people, that you have to begin with the end in mind. If you haven't read that book, I highly encourage it. So begin with the end in mind is one of the 7 habits, and to think win-win. Like literally, I'm in my accountability groups, and there's things that I need at this group. Like I need somebody to train my team. So what can I give them thinking win-win? How can I help them win so that they can help me win? Think win-win. You want everybody in the situation to win. So sketching out tomorrow, this one says begin with the end in mind. It's hard to believe what you can't see, but if you're artistic, actually draw out or paint an image of what your desired future looks like. If you're better with words, write it into a story. To create goals, you need to know where you are headed. But many people don't set goals because they have never dreamed specific dreams about the reality they hope to create. Dream bigger. Write the picture. Believe you can have it. Number 2, set good goals. Most people have some sort of goals, but mean their goals are not good ones. The best goals are specific, so smart goals. I'm not going to go into that because I've talked about that, and you can Google it. There's YouTube videos for days. There's articles for days. There's things that can walk you through it. So, and if you are trying to prepare yourself to be a leader, then you create the action. You go figure out how to make smart goals. You take free classes. Next one is stop to celebrate. If you're ambitious, celebrate. Create competitions. One of the quickest ways to motivate ambition is allowing people to compete against each other with a reward system in place. Compete. Good competition is great. But it's not good if you're going to be competing about people that you know you can beat. Actually challenge yourself. Understand your role. Become an expert before you need to. Before a person, this is a quote from Zig Ziglar. Before, this is about and being ambitious. Before a person can achieve, page 69. Before a person can achieve the kind of life he wants, he must think, act, walk, talk, and conduct himself in all of his affairs as would the person he wishes to become. Let me drink some tea on that. I literally had this conversation the other day. So I'm still in educator Facebook groups because when I left the education system, I left as assistant principal. So I like being in there and giving my 2 cents, my tea, to educators who are in there. Someone posted a question because she has the education, she has the years, and she feels like she has the classroom experience to be an assistant principal. That's her goal. And she asked of the room, like, something of the effect of, what do people think about how do you basically, like, how do you get an assistant principal position? Is it worth it? So on and so forth. And of course, we had the negative Nancy's in the room, that you got to know somebody, that you got to be connected. And I'm not saying that you don't have to be connected. You do. And I'm not saying that you don't need to know anybody. You do. But this is, as a classroom teacher, how do you get to know people? How do you get to know somebody? How do people, like, you don't just fill out an application and people just say, oh, you got a degree. Everybody got the degree. Oh, you passed the test. Everybody passed the test. So how do you set yourself apart from everybody who has the years in the classroom, everybody who has the degrees that you have? Like, there's certain things you have to do. One is you have to look like the position you want. People need to see you in it before they see you in it. So I gave an example of things that I did when I showed up to a school system that nobody knew me in. I didn't get the job because I knew somebody, I knew somebody, I knew somebody before I got there. I was in the school system for 2 years and I became assistant principal. How did I do that? And how did I suggest she does it? I said, you have to, one of the things my mentor, my assistant, my principal told me years before I became a principal is that your school knows you're great. So, in your area, do people in your arena, if you're a counselor, do the counselors in your system know you're great? If you're an MLM and you sell a product and your customers know you great, do people outside of your school, whatever that is, my example would be the school, know that you're great? My principal's like, your school knows you're great. Your school knows you can do this. The people in the county need to know you this. This is how I set my leaders up. My leaders and my team knows they're great because they show up in there. They're sharing Tuesday tips. They're training our team to be known. You don't need to be known in our team. You need to be known to other people. Go train other people's teams. So when you show up at the convention, everybody's like, "Oh my goodness, I love your training. Can you come train my team?" And then people outside of your school, your training hub, your people, your building in corporate America, your accounting section, like to be moved up and be over all sections, people in accounting need to know you, people in finance, people in HR, everybody needs to know you. Know you in the position that you want, not the one you have. That is literally what they're saying, and it's right here. Before a person can achieve the kind of life he wants, he must think, act, walk, talk, and conduct himself in all of his affairs. It's going to be no surprise to people that when I get on big stages, that I'm on big stages training because I'm acting, walking, talking, showing up, conducting myself in all affairs in a way that they see me in it before they see me in it. Are you acting like a person who makes seven figures in sales? So when you make seven figures in sales, they saw you in it before they saw you in it. Are you acting like a person walking, talking, reading books, attending seminars, turning the TV off, learning things, coaching people, giving back to those who are where you want to be? It doesn't matter if you are at the very beginning. There's somebody who started yesterday who's even closer to the beginning than you are. Are you helping them so they can see you as a coach before they see you as a coach? And then the last part of being ambitious is keep going and keep trying. Experience creates expertise. Not listening to me, not listening to the pastor on Wednesdays and Sunday. Experience, somebody drop that in the comments for me. Experience create expertise. Christy, how do you know all these things? I worked it for 10 years. Christy, how are you now comfortable talking to people? Because I talked to people when I was not comfortable doing it. How do you know what to say when somebody says that? Because I didn't know what to say enough times that I figured that if I want to keep having these conversations, I got to figure out what to say. Experience creates expertise. Not just reading the books, but applying, taking action. Because guess what leaders do? They create action. Now, I'm just telling you life experiences that I've had, but an expert who wrote the book said it's true. Now, the next part before we end out this Tuesday tea is that it's the ambition. I did want to talk about the habit of innovation, creating things. I literally was doing a one-on-one with my business partner yesterday. I said, you know what happens? We are fearful of being the one who creates it. We're fearful of being the one that fails. So we wait until people have success and then we jump on it and then it's too late. We can't have the success they had because 4 years ago, people were doing Facebook Lives for 4 hours. And so we waited until they started making a lot of money doing it. And then we jump in it and we wonder why it's not working for us because 4 years ago, they had two people on their live and kept going. What's the last one I said on page 69? They keep going and keep trying. Even when it didn't look like it. Ain't nobody gonna show up to mine. Nobody's doing, but they kept going and they kept trying. And then we want to show up after we've seen their success. We didn't want to do it when they were losing. We didn't want to do it when nobody showing up to their lives. We didn't want to do it when nobody was showing up to their Tuesday teas. We didn't want to do it like I'm gonna blow up, and then somebody's gonna want to jump on the scene and try Tuesday teas. I've been doing it. Y'all, my notes. I've been doing it since 2019. Now I know why I haven't blown up. There's certain things I haven't done. Like I literally did this. Goal wasn't even to blow up. I was doing this so that I can ensure that I read every day. I can't show up to the tea if I don't read. I can't talk about a book that I haven't read. Well, I probably could, but I choose to read it. All right. And so somebody's going to see me at year 7 with a blown up YouTube channel, and they're going to, oh, now I'm going to jump in and try to do this. You had to jump in and be innovative and make the mistakes that I've been making over the years and learning from the mistakes and being disciplined and showing up on Tuesday no matter what. Like literally, there was a mom's group that I was a part of that used to meet on Thursdays, and I'd take Mila, she'd go play, I'd work with the lady, I'd do the little ceremony with the ladies, and then they changed it to Tuesday because it worked for Tuesday for some of them. It didn't work for Tuesday for me. I'm here on Tuesday tea. So I stayed disciplined to my Tuesday tea because reading is helping me and it's helping others. Because in the last chapter about being humble, we realized that it's not about us. The things we do are about other people. And Carolyn and Jennifer and Renee and Beverly, Loretta show up in here on Tuesday tea. So I chose not to give up on what I built from 2019 to now because they changed the date. But guess what I'm blessed with? Another group that now meets on Thursdays. So you have to stay disciplined. And then the innovation piece on page 89, he says, stay current, creative, and engaged. Things are always changing. What worked for me last year does not work for me this year. I'm on LinkedIn. I wasn't on LinkedIn in 2019, 20, 21, 22, 20. This is 23. At the end of the year, I'm finally on LinkedIn. Should I have been doing LinkedIn? Yes. Better late than never. And the videos that you see in the beginning on LinkedIn are going to be horrible compared to the videos I'm going to do next year. And then people are going to see the results of next year and be like, I'm going to hop on this now. But you wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym, when nobody was showing up. So he says, stay current and engaged. How do you do that? Innovation takes work. Lots of work. I didn't say this right here on page 90 in the chapter about staying hungry. Innovation takes work, lots of work. Creativity takes work, lots of work. Hard work. Energy and preparation are critical. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning. I have my meditation. I can't wait to read Miracle Mornings with you guys. I did my meditation since I started meditation for 5 minutes. I do meditation for 5 minutes. It's changed my life. And then I work out for 15 minutes, not 30, not 45, not an hour, 15 minutes. 15 minutes a day is better than nothing. So I do 15 minutes and it's been amazing. I go take a shower. I have breakfast done for the family. And then I even added a cleaning schedule because my cleaning habits around this house have been horrendous. But I had to be innovative and I had to create a system and it's lots of work and it's hard work. But the preparation is critical. I have to do this work for preparation because true creativity comes from disciplined habits, not consistency. I didn't say it. True creativity, somebody drop that in the comments. True creativity comes from disciplined habits. For those of you who are out there like, I'm just not creative, he talks about people who say that in the book, Humble, Hungry, and Hustle. He talks about people who claim they're not creative. Sis, listen, this is tea. Hold on one second. I got to drink my tea on this one. Your lack of creativity is due to the fact that you're not disciplined with your habits. Hold the presses. What? Now he's saying not the kind of creative person who's born and goes out and draws paintings, and the creative person who goes out and creates music. Not that creativity, but all of us. Thank you, Tangela, for dropping that. True creativity comes from disciplined habits. Sis, you creative, your habits and your discipline for your habits suck. Let's just call a spade a spade. Preparation is critical for true creativity. So, leaders imagine a different future and change the order of things regardless of the title or position. Intentionality is made up of these four elements. If you want to be intentional, if being intentional, if being disciplined is getting in the way of your creativity, which is getting in the way of you creating action, was getting in the way of you going to the next step. And on page 91, he says, do these things. Courage. Innovation, creativity requires a willingness to accept risk and step out into uncertainty. Me going on LinkedIn doing this, where I feel like LinkedIn is made up, it's made up of professionals, corporate people. Like that is me stepping into uncertainty, but courage. Failure is required. Innovation almost never happens on the first try. It requires at least one and usually multiple disappointments. Multiple disappointments. You know how disappointed I am. I can't wait to see what this looks like on LinkedIn because I looked at my videos. I kept showing up. I looked at my videos like trash, garbage. I kept showing up. See, this is what I don't stop showing up because it doesn't look good. I know that's part of the story. And I know it's going to help not just me, but other people if they see the process of development. What was the quote? Let me go back to it. Let me check my notes for what page that was on. Because the quote said, was it 89? Nope. I didn't think I had y'all drop in the comments. Maybe page 69. Experience creates expertise. This what you're seeing right now, I get to go live in one place. I'm on one place and I am live right now on my personal page with one. I've been going live in these same three places from an iPad and a cell phone. And then I have my laptop in front of me. Now all I have is my laptop and this camcorder, this video cam, YouTube, not YouTube, but USB cam that my husband bought for me years ago. Thank you for the notes there, Jennifer. I like that. Push yourself on a daily basis. The next one, if you want to work on your innovation and your intentionality, stamina. Woo! Stamina. I need to make a YouTube with that. She got a stamina. She got an innovation. Listen, I'm gonna blow up with that one. And I give you all the rights to go create it before me. All right. Innovation occurs at the end of the process, not the beginning. Creativity happens at the end of the process, not the beginning. The most creative ideas is almost never the first one suggested. Innovative leaders learn to push through their quitting points. Push through your quitting points. Oh, this ain't working. I'm not doing this. Push through your quitting points. Oh, this isn't for me. Oh, it's for you. Push through the quitting points. Often we abandon a process right before the breakthrough would have occurred. And last, spark. Innovation happens when we create moments and space conducive to birthing new ideas. You may not be naturally creative, but if you're willing to get the right people in the right room at the right time, ignition can occur. If you're willing to get the right people in the right place at the right time, how do you get the right people in the right place at the right time? You have to be the kind of person that you want in the room. You have to have the qualities that the kind of person that you want in the room with you is attracted to. You want to be in the accountability group, then you need to be and show up as the kind of person that they would want to invite in there. You need to make your strengths known. When you are in rooms, that's why I said to the lady or my comment in the Facebook group, I said, What I did was when I walked into the rooms and a question was asked and I had to answer, I didn't wait for somebody else to answer it. I don't care if everybody in the room was six figures and I wasn't yet. I didn't care if everybody in the room was seven figures and I wasn't yet. They asked a question and I'm confident that I have a good answer, so I answered it. And then people in the room don't then think, oh, she must not make six figures. They think she's innovative, she's creative, she's not scared, she's fearless. They saw me in the position before they saw me in the position. So while they over there in the rooms amongst themselves making decisions, and my name comes up because when I was in the room, I didn't sit back scared. I answered the question. This is how it was in school. There's a training. I can train on that. Sign me up. I knew I wasn't going to, at that point, I was an assistant principal. I knew I wasn't going to be a superintendent, but they had a training at Georgia State for people who were assistant principals who wanted to move up. I went to the training. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm confident right now if a position comes up, I actually check and see. I might do that. If a position comes up in my school system, I could apply for it and they would interview me for it because I was in rooms with these people. Act, walk, talk for what you want so people can see you before they see you. So opportunities for innovation are all around us. Page 91. There are always new and better ways to do what one is currently doing, but you have to be willing to do, what's the word? The work necessary. I have heard that so many times in this discussion right now. And we're going to go ahead and end this right now. Who are the innovators on your team? Who are the creative people? Give them something so they can give you something. Stay up on the latest trends in your field. Be in constant conversation with others who are succeeding. Embrace risk. Embrace change. Embrace failure. And most of all, have fun doing it. I'll see you back here for the next Tuesday Tea with me, where we are moving on to the hustle, baby. We are humble, not lacking confidence. We are confident and humble. We are hungry and ambitious. And next week, we're going to talk about hustle. Go ahead and grab your next book because after the hustle, we are on to your next 5 moves. Master the art of business strategy. Your next 5 moves. And I start at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Renee. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And after your next 5 moves, then we go into miracle mornings. Miracle mornings. So your next 5 moves, miracle mornings. Those are our next 2 books. Love y'all. And I'll see you back here next Tuesday for the Tuesday Tea with me. Bye.